Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Your Little Castle Show. There are iconic names that stand out in the history of St. Louis, like Budweiser, Boeing. When you start talking about some of the hardworking people that really helped build St. Louis, you can't go too far without thinking about modern kitchens and baths. When I heard you guys were going to be on the show, I was just excited because I was like, holy cow, you guys are iconic. You guys have been around for almost a century. Coming up, how many years is it now?
73.
73. So
years.
3/4 of a century almost. And I was just really excited. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest here, David DuPree, owner and co-president, Modern Kitchens and Baths.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
I just super excited to have you guys on because when you really start talking about the legendary names, I just am so familiar with you guys. Modern Kitchens and Bath. It's like I said, it's almost like Budweiser is.
Yeah, we like to say we're older than the Arch. We've been around longer than the Blues. You know, so when you think of terms like, well, the Arch has been here forever.
Right.
You know, and we were, my grandfather started it, you know, in 1950 or so, and you know, so we like to say we're older than the Arch.
Older, that's true.
Older than the Arch.
Yeah, the Arch is only like 50-something years old. So
that's a puppy
when you compare, he's been a lot longer than the Arch. Yeah, you think about it, the Arch is older than me. I just turned 51 or so, and 51. I remember I started it. I did work for Anheuser-Busch for 10 years as an IT guy. It's what helps us get this production done. But I started November 8th, and I figured that back. That's exactly
I love that day.
Six months after my birthday. So
that's my birthday, November the 8th.
Okay, so we're half birthday brothers. You're November 8th. I'm May 8th. Every half year we'll have to say half birthday to you.
Fantastic.
That's great. But I recognize that. So that was just recently for all of you keeping track of time, and and add 20-something years to that for as long as you guys have been around. And like I said, it's more than exciting to have such a legendary, and to have one of the guys who's helped run it for on the website. I noticed we'll show everybody the website since 1976.
Right.
I was 4 at that time. David was very young, so we'll just say that he started very young. It's not that he's much older than me, but he started very young. So great work, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's really impressive. I love the business. I think what we're doing here is going to be fun. I like it. You know, I like talking about my company. If I didn't, I should have quit a long time ago.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Stick around for as long as you guys do. You got to have a passion for what you're doing, or else it gets old.
Yeah.
But you're really impacting a lot. I mean, we talk about how you contribute to the community. We'll get to that. But just by building, how many? You give me a number later. Tell me now. How many kitchens and baths have you guys?
We were trying to figure that out once, and I think I don't know. It's super hard to figure out because our business model kind of has changed over the years from us selling a lot of contractors and do-it-yourselfers to more of we're installing and running the whole core project. So it's a lot different, but it's tens of thousands. I don't know. You know,
more than enough to fill a few towns of St. Louis.
Exactly.
I just saw the sign. I grew up in Fenton, but I played baseball in Baldwin, where you guys are not far from your location. I think that might be where I saw it as a kid, over by Baldwin baseball.
Yeah,
ballpark.
We've been in that location for 34 years. We moved out west from our original location on South Kings Highway, is where I kind of got my roots started, and I don't know. It was always fun. You know, I remember it when I was watching an old 8mm film of my grandfather and my dad opening metal cabinetry.
Right.
You know, and it just takes you back a little bit, seeing stuff like that, and because I can remember the window they were in, etc., doing it. And my dad's, you know, always had us working when we were kids. So when you were really younger, not driving on Saturdays, you would go down to work. And you could be 10 or 12 years old working, but, you know, washing a window, learning how to do that. And it was just fun but work at the same time.
Sure.
You learn weird things when you're a kid down there. I was washing the windows once, and old German guy walks by and says, "You're doing it all wrong." I'm like, "Okay, and how do you wash a window?" He goes, "Go get some old newspaper and you squeegee down the window, and then you wipe the glass down with an old newspaper, and it leaves no streaks." So you're constantly, from a little kid, still learning the fun things, of life, and I don't know. It's just that just sets up. Well, you can keep learning something new every day. So
well, I don't often
stuck
comment
there.
on this, but your demeanor, you're just a happy, jovial guy. It just needs.
Most
you
people say,
you must be happy. You must be enjoy what you're doing.
I do. I enjoy life in general. It's growing up in St. Louis. Lived here all my life. I play soccer. I still play. People laugh at me at 63 playing. Ran teams. I guess that was my passion. Modern Kitchens always had a men's outdoor soccer team since '82. We just disbanded about 3 years ago because most of us got too old to keep playing outdoor.
Right? But still do the indoor stuff. Yeah. Well, with that, we'll mention some of our sponsors we've got here on the show, but another iconic brand known here in St. Louis is Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things. You can see that behind me, and I'll put the widescreen up for everybody, in your little castle. So the leaders in our community helping to share who they are. We've got one right here in our building today. Carroll House Furniture, Amy and Brooke, they do such an incredible job. And if it weren't for the sponsors that we have, this thing wouldn't happen. So shout out to them and what they do, because you do like nice things in your little castle. I've shared that with Brooke recently. With that, though, we talk to people about, if you're going to get a house, many times you're not going to pay cash for the house. You guys do financing, I would imagine.
Yeah,
too.
yes, we do.
But you got to finance your house. You got to finance the kitchen remodel. But go to USA Mortgage. I do have my mortgage license. I'm in LA. The information shows up on the screen here as we continue. But I'm powered by the Flowers team, and Steve and those guys do a great job. Been around forever too. So with that, now we get into the fun part, because when I put up on the screen, I was like, what am I going to show for you guys? Because you have hundreds of things that we could show off on your website, because you've got such great information. You've got so many, the pictures you've got. We're going to go through the portfolio a little bit here, everybody. So if you want to see some of the work they've done over at Modern Kitchens and Baths, we're going to show it to you right here on the screen right now. And you go to the website to do that. But that is modernkitchensandbaths.com. And keep up with us, because we're going to show a little bit right there. Do I have that number right? 636-394-3655.
Correct.
All right. So with that, let's jump in. Tell me that we kind of know a little bit about it. Why did you decide to get into this? It was a family tradition at that point, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it was fun when I first made my first sale. It was just a bathroom vanity top, and I was so excited with what I did. I'm like, I sold a vanity, and I was probably 18, maybe something. I don't know. I was young, and when my dad was like, "Good job," and I'm like, "Okay," So it's something really small, but that kind of led to, I talked to these people. I knew what I was doing, and it was fun. I just kind of fell in love with it right then, and it just kind of kept progressing. And as I did more projects and got a little bit more experience, it's always challenging. There's new products that come out, different things to read about, and I get to meet interesting people every single day, because everybody that comes in, I talk to. I'm really of a shy kind of guy,
Is that true?
So it's hard for me to open up, So I like talking to them. I like finding out what they do for a living, kind of some of the same thing you're doing with me. What's their passions? And when you start talking to people, they're talking about their kids and then their lifestyle, and it really kind of sets the tone to maybe what they want, So I don't know. It just magnified itself over and over. And when I get done with big projects now, and I look back, and from the pictures that I've taken, I go, Wow, that was pretty darn cool. I seen
Right.
that on TV. But I did it.
I tell you, I'm going to jump up and put on the wall a little bit here for everybody to take a look here because we're going to get into this more depth. But you go right to the website. You can type in /portfolio, or you just click the link at the top of the page. It says portfolio, and just take a look at some of these pictures. But because I just can't say enough. Look at that. Who doesn't want a kitchen that looks like what you see here? And it's just beautiful stuff. And I can imagine when you get to put that into somebody's house, that kind of work into somebody's house. Super
That's fun.
exciting. That's fun.
That's
right?
just fun.
And you just we talk about the name of the show is Your Little Castle. Talk about who's making the house into the little castle. These guys, modern kitchen and bath, literally is making everyone's home into a castle. So that's beautiful. Well, at what point were you like, okay, this is what I'm going to do? Was it that vanity that got sold?
Yeah,
when you were
I think that was it.
we said, this is
To
what I'm going to
start
do?
off, and it just, I don't know, kind of magnified from the next one. I do remember probably when the first major sale I made it was down Central West End, and the customer wanted something very unique, very different. So I came up with an idea. They like going to Colorado, they said, and going to saunas and spas and what have you. So I designed this whole bathroom with redwood cedar around all the walls and terracotta tile flooring. And they just fell in love with it. So I'm like, maybe I have a knack for this, because I must have seen it in a magazine, or I remembered what a sauna, dry sauna was all redwood. So I did the whole bathroom. So I did the walls on 45 this way, 45 that way, and we had a whirlpool tub in there, vanities, and it just turned out really super cool. And this customer was like, that's way more than what we thought, it would look like. They were so impressed. And I think that was really the key. It was like, I can do this. And, I just kind of kept doing it, and it's been amazing ever since.
Yeah, the light bulb kind of goes on. I mean, how many of us, my mom essentially says the same thing to me. She's a drama teacher. We always talk about the fact she taught John Goodman drama at Afton High School. And she says, Carter, now you're really getting to follow your passion because you're helping other people to share what they love and what they're good at. And I mean, when you talk about like how enlightening is it for somebody to come home and go, here is my house. This is what I've worked for. This is and it looks like the stuff we've got. Like I'm gonna put it back up on the wall. Just some of the examples here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this portfolio. If you want to see some of the work these guys have done, this is amazing stuff that will literally change your life. It's got to be awesome to wake up and walk into a kitchen like that every day and know, all right, I got everything I've put into my hard work towards my life. It really looks awesome to help me to do what I do. You played soccer as a passion, I guess, of a sport. We talked about that. Does that help you with the competitive nature? Tell me about.
Well, I went out with a friend of mine, this buddy, who me and him are still longtime friends. We were both kind of acquaintances. We went out to go play, and we never got to play on the team. We sat on the sidelines. So Dave and I looked at Dave. I'm like, you want to play this game? He goes, yeah, I want to play. Well, I'm going to form my own team next year. So I started recruiting some of my ex-college buddies that played different schools, across Missouri. And I started to form Modern Kitchen Baths outdoor soccer team. We played CYC, which was pretty big back then as far as competitiveness and teams, and and I've met a bunch of great guys. I still hang out with 4 or 5 of them. We go to the St. Louis City games together, so we all have the same kind of passion of the game, and it's been really fun. I've sold a lot of kitchens from it too, because people come in the showroom and go, I think I played soccer against you or your team, and so I'm like, well, the jersey worked.
A little bit of marketing back then.
Yeah,
people remember, like I said, the staple.
That was always fun, and doing that, and it's been different, a whole different outdoor teams playing around the city, and St. Louis is a good community. I always say it's the biggest small town you're ever going to be in. We always ask where you went to high school. I think it's just we like to make a connection.
Right.
You know, you know so and so. Oh, me too. You know, I blah blah blah. So, you know, playing soccer it was just a good outlet. Met a lot of good friends and etc. from that, and it's fun. I got a lot of trophies,
Right.
and what have you, and always throw a party or two, you know, at a bar or restaurant when we win, and I'd give away coffee mugs with the Modern Kitchen's logo and, you know, sandblasted on there or something. So every time we won, you know, the guys got something. But they just like playing. It was fun.
Well, I think about as a matter of the relationships that I've made, either from I played soccer,
Yeah.
I played up at Concord like you did.
Yeah.
As a kid, I grew up in South County area, and then baseball, and then football I played too. I can't imagine, it's like 90% of the people I know, or if not more, are all from some connection
Right.
through the sports that I played.
That's crazy.
And that's just kind of neat because St. Louis is like it's the biggest small town, they say, in the country, where you really better treat everybody right because they're going to
I know,
remember
they know. Someone knows you.
Somebody's going to say, oh, I knew that guy back
I
when.
know.
And so with that, we always ask, though, how long you've been in the business. We talked about that. You personally, since 1976, what was the founding year for Modern Kitchen and Bath?
1949, 1950, somewhere around there. I think 1950 is what we classify it. My grandfather was, as the legend has it, or the myth,
Right.
was working for a local grocery store at the time. He was a produce buyer, and he wanted to own his own grocery store. But my grandfather never got out of the 6th grade back in then, you know.
Sure.
A lot of people just kind of worked. They helped the family to, you know, succeed and move on. So when they didn't really let him pursue his dream, he kind of went out and bought his own dream. And in the very beginning, the first 6 months, if I remember correctly, the company was called Modern Kitchens and Tile.
Okay.
And they were a big tile distributor in the St. Louis area of plastics, ceramics, a lot of the vinyl, the stair casings. Now, I haven't been there for a while, but the stairs that went in the Fox Theater that goes to the bathroom downstairs, my grandfather sold that.
Wow.
And, you know,
Fox
so
Theater.
I don't know if it's been replaced since then, but from that, you know, point, and then they started selling metal cabinetry, which then it became Modern Kitchens and Baths, and they just kind of kept evolving. And the building on South Kings Highway my grandfather got was an old car dealership, and we used the where they fixed the cars was our warehouse, and we converted all the interior to showrooms. That's where we first had metal cabinetry, and then we expanded later and went upstairs and made more showroom. We kept on expanding the whole showroom basically with that, and there's so much history there. When I was a kid working there, or in my youth selling, just down the street was Rolls-Royce dealership, and Charles Schmidt. So every once in a while you'd see a Rolls-Royce drive by or a Porsche. You know, I'm like, I want one of those. You know?
Wow, I didn't realize that the Rolls-Royce dealership was in town.
To give you a little history on South Kings Highway, my grandfather, they always say location, location, location. Well, there was no Manchester Road back then. The street to be on was South Kings Highway. It had a nickname of Gasoline Alley because all the car dealerships were on Kings Highway. You had the Plymouth, you had Dodge, you had Ford, you had Vincel Pontiac. You had all the names and Rolls Royces in there. So his philosophy was, if the couple's going to go down Kings Highway to shop for a car, he may convince the wife may convince the husband, let's get a kitchen instead. So it worked out, you know. So that was the kind of the deal then, and that was the major thoroughfare. If you had from Barnes Hospital all the way, you know, on Kings Highway was, you know, just a corridor, which now Manchester Road does the same thing. Everything you want's on Manchester. But that was, they had Universal Flavors down there on South Kings Highway, so all of a sudden you might smell root beer or grape knee-high, you know. It's like, so there was so much history on South Kings Highway at the very beginning. So in the early days of selling, it was always fun to have a customer come in that was a little bit older than me and go, yeah, I went to Southwest High School, and I remember that when I was in high school, Modern Kitchens being here, so that they would come in and buy. So it was fun.
A little bit of what I'm gathering from what you're saying is essentially that business is a constant evolution, and constantly changing, updating, and it's always some kind of a marketing strategy all the time. Be at this location. Sponsor a soccer team, anything you can to help the community get out there. And if you're helping other people and doing good work, things tend to go your way.
Yeah,
do a good job.
We get referrals left and right, and that's really fun when you see a generation come in. I've had sold to parents, and then now I got a daughter a new couple. Well, my parents bought here. And so we're going to come here and shop. So you get a goosebumps basically when you get that couple come in and knowing their parents bought, and we're still here, still original owners. We haven't, that's kind of thrilling by itself, like, oh, okay,
well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we put the cowboy hat on to say, when you're really become such an integral part of the community like you guys have been. That's what the Cardinal Cowboy stands for. That's so take note, everybody. If you're going to be successful, engage in the community, contribute, adjust, make sure that you can be there and do a good job. And you guys, I mean, there is a ton of lessons to be learned, everybody. But one is make sure you're involved in your community, and then adapt as necessary to make sure you're doing well to serve a community. That's why we get our big pencil here. Say, take note, everybody. It's great information. We like to do. I got this at the gas station, believe it or not. I saw that. I'm like, that'll be a great prop. I get this from my mom's drama background. Make the point, right? Make sure people remember.
Exactly.
Well, incredible stuff with you. We're almost through ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 2 shows. This is the first half hour you will probably see on ABC, or you might see it on our website. We always give a copy to our guests. So David will have this, but watch the full show here. We're already 22 minutes and 8 seconds into this first show, and we haven't hardly made it through half what I want to talk about here. So tell me then, what is it about, what is the passion you feel for this? I mean, a lot of things I can imagine you feel passion towards, because you're really helping people with their house, where they live, their family, where they raise their kids, and you see this final product that you produce.
Well, yeah, the first one that really struck a really good chord with me is, I had a gentleman come in many years ago, and he had, I guess, a back issue problem. And this is before all the cool handheld showers that are available and all this, but it really struck a chord. He wanted to take showers. He was not a bath person. So he came in, and actually saw him down at the home show. We did a lot of convention home shows. And he walked into my booth, and he says, I can't stand up. I can't take baths. Can you help me out with a shower? And like I said, it was before handhelds and all this stuff was available. And I said, I've never done one, but if you give me a few weeks and let me research it, I will help you out. So he went around the home show. He came back. He goes, nobody answered the question like you did. So he took my card, and then I went up to a hospital, and I kind of noticed a shower head that was low to the ground, but midway, probably waist high. And I'm like, I could do that.
Right.
So I had him come back in. I said, well, we got your shower head up here. We have a diverter valve here, which is like turning from the tub to the shower, but it's a diverter valve. So I put a shower on the back about waist high. I said, now, sir, all you have to do is take a shower, turn the diverter valve, and the water's going to hit your backside. And he goes, you said a few different words I can't say on there. And, I'm like, I solved the problem. I thought that was super cool. And that really kind of fueled it there, too. I mean, I guess the passion gets fueled every other sale, or something new comes around. And, yeah, when someone gets their eyes wide open and they go, wow, you feel good about yourself, know. My wife's a retired principal at an elementary school, and I could see the same thing sometimes with her, so I'm like, we would go over different things like, hey, and she always found a child or two that really she gravitated toward or really wanted to help out and stuff. So I saw different passions. You see it in everybody, what they love and, what they do. And I don't know, that was kind of a chord right there that really hit me. I'm like, I can do this. This is fun. And I'm still doing it. And I still find things that help somebody out.
Well, it sounds like you've nailed it. And it's a matter of, they say, follow your passion and you will never work a day in your life. You'll just do it. It's not work at that point.
Right.
And it seems like you've kind of found that. And for a long period of time now, been able to do something that make an impact. All right, I've got to show you guys an incredible amount of reviews. Lots of great information out there that David and his team have put together. So they do have a Facebook page. I'm going to put that up on the wall for everybody to take a look at. But lots of great pictures, information there. You can see all kinds of exciting things that they do in the community, and look at some of the work they've got out there. But they also, like I said, people have a lot of good things to say. And I'll take a look here, but excuse me, this shows that your stars are great. You're in the 4s for everything. If people got a 5.0, you wonder what's going on there. But take a look at some of the reviews you'll find out here for these guys. They also do have that A+ certification by the BBB since 2018, but 74 years in business it shows on there. And so that's pretty powerful. And when you've got a business that's been around for that long, now you know you've got a name you can trust, because when you're going to spend 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or $70,000,
exactly,
you want to make sure you got somebody knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah, it's always fun. I think we got a good crew. We've had the same sales force. We're kind of picky in our sales force as if we've gotten older. Our designers, so they have to have the same kind of passion we do. My brother and I, we both grew up doing this. Robert Sutter, one of our salespersons, been with us for, I don't know, many, many years. He was with us like 10 years, and he thought maybe the grass was greener at someplace else. He left, but he wanted to come back, and we hired him back. He's a great guy, great salesperson. We have Tracy, who is kind of up in Canada with his family. His mother just kind of passed away. He's been with us for, I believe, around 17 years. Bob Barr was with us 33 years before he passed away. So the longevity of the staff is just the amazing portion of it. We have our nephew now, 4th generation, managing the warehouse. The other warehouse worker we have is really funny. He was a student at my wife's elementary school. So when we kind of looked at his resume and we started talking, he's like, "Do you know Mrs. DuPree?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." Well, she was my principal at my elementary school. I'm like, "Okay, well, we got to hire you now."
Well, all right, so everybody, we are almost through the first half hour. I do want to highlight a couple of the pictures. Go look at we didn't get to talk about the baths as much here, but there's a ton of great pictures out there, and take a good look here at what you see here, because there's just incredible portfolio of information, and show you guys all the beautiful work these gentlemen have done and what they can do. But get a good glimpse of all of that stuff, because that's who you wouldn't need to know and trust that will make a difference for your house, your home. And stay tuned for more. We're going to come back with show number 2 in just a minute. Giddy up.